ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from the previous meeting?
Move to approve minutes from last meeting.
Moved by Justin to approve the minutes and second by Kale. All in favor? Okay. Consent agenda. We need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing. Permission for clerk to pay utilities at time of billing. Permission for clerk to pay utility incentives before the 25th of the month. Permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due. Permission for clerk to pay payment service network bills when due. And permission for clerk to pay city attorney bills when due.
So moved.
Moved by Dara,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Sheriff report, I did talk to Cody, he was out all last week and he had other obligations this evening. I did get a list of some trailers parked on city streets that they were working on, and, the truck parking seems to be an issue again. I've received some complaints and we visited with that, and he was going to visit with the individual sometime this week.
Somebody
So,
new?
No. I think other than that, that's all we visited about. New business, Courthouse Park, Sawhill Park.
That's just a lease renewal, isn't it?
No, there's no lease on the Courthouse Park. There was clear back in 2019, I think there's correspondence between Leslie and Mike Day that nobody can seem to find a lease agreement for the Courthouse Park. And then it kind of got dropped through the cracks, I think, whether the county or the city was gonna draw one up, and then there is one for the, Sawhill Park that will renew or needs to renew in a couple of years. It's a 50-year lease, so.
But we've been maintaining it.
We've been maintaining it even though,
I guess I just thought that was a mutual understanding.
I think it is, but I think you probably want something in writing, especially with this park project going on where they're coming to us because we maintain it, but the commissioners actually have to be the ones that apply for the grant funding. It just adds another level of,
And
And the-
insurance,
and then,
do they cover that?
It's their property.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought. I mean,
You should have a copy of the lease agreement too. Yeah. That's, yeah. And
we don't
everybody,
insure Lila, we don't insure like the bathroom, the bathhouse over there is a,
no, it's not our property. As far as I know.
okay.
I guess I've never asked Kelly Fruin that, but I don't believe that's on our list of properties. I didn't even think to confirm that.
Yeah,
I can't
I just
imagine.
didn't think about insurance wise that,
It's not our, since we don't own it and we're just leasing it. And I don't think that's in, I read through this and I don't remember it saying anything about insurance. It does say that the city, for leasing it, that we will care for it and cultivate, improve, and beautify the property. And that's for the Sawhill Park, so.
Is there any reason why we're leasing rather than owning?
well, that was my thought, why not go to the commissioners and see if they would deed both parks to us? Cause I think where the courthouse park is, there's that vacated alley that obviously it would go to the middle of that alley, that would be fairly easy where we maintain it.
You know, especially if
Utilities
there-
are separate, you know, right, as far as like the plumbing for the bathhouse.
Especially if there's an insurance question on that, it'd either be more practical for us to own it
Mm-hmm.
if we think we're already putting insurance on it, then we should.
And I don't,
I don't think
if we're not, I wonder if they are even, I wonder if they're just not
Yeah.
even insured.
I'm sure that they are.
So, I mean,
Be worth
Uh,
asking,
We're asking, yep.
okay? I can, what is,
When do they meet?
next, should be Friday the 14th, I would believe.
Okay.
And we can clarify it and then find out if we're leasing it, might as well see if they'll deed it over to us,
Okay,
so we can take care of it.
is everybody okay with that?
As long as it doesn't attribute any increased cost to us, I guess.
Well, I think if we own it, we're gonna have to insure it.
Insurance, and then like when we did the streets, the curb and gutter, you know, they paid for the curb and gutter, obviously that would be our expense. If we do,
Let's find out on the insurance stuff first, that's my take.
But
Yeah.
don't those properties list out separate?
Mm-hmm,
Is it just the one at Bushel?
mm-hmm, yeah, so the EMC,
okay,
I just cannot, I don't remember ever seeing anything about those properties when Kelly and Roxy have talked to us about our insurance, but looking is the best way to check for that, for
Well, I
sure.
just wanted, like, with all the grants and all that, you know, fixing of the band shell, if that, I feel the city just did that without even getting the county approval, but I don't know.
I think so, I think you're right.
It's kind of the way I feel, but, which, you know, with the new policies next door, with the way grants go, then it'll have to go through the county
Mhm.
for them to apply.
Wouldn't that be covered under our umbrella?
If we owned it,
If we owned it.
probably.
With as much property as city covers, I'm wondering if it's not under there somewhere.
That's what I kind of wondered our liability didn't cover it.
Oh, it's gotta be, now that you're saying
Yeah,
that, because
that's
we've had a
like it.
claim, somebody got injured in the park over there and it went under the city's policy.
Yeah.
So, so now
So,
that you
yeah, I
said
think
that,
that we do insure.
So if we're doing all the work now, we might as well own it, or at least try to.
Mhm.
Otherwise, why are we insuring something that we don't own?
I think over the years, you probably already repaired curb and gutter and everything, so I mean, you're not gonna gain or lose anything, except just go ahead and gain title to it.
Didn't you say that the county was taking care of the curb and gutter? When we
Of
did
that
streets?
first project, when we went past here,
because they own the
they
property.
owned the property and so they paid for that curb and gutter.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying, if we own it, it would be our responsibility if and when it needs replaced.
This all kinda came up because we were talking about grants for the parks.
For that,
And there was a lot of confusion, is who needs to apply for the grants, us or the county? And, so that's how this all
Yeah.
kinda came to a head, was
Make it
trying to
more
get clarification.
benefit for us to own it then.
and I don't know what came up in 2019 where there's the conversation between Leslie and Mike.
Might have been the playground equipment that we were putting in at that time, cause I think that was those horses and there's some other stuff going on, I'm not sure. I don't know, cause we put those in, right?
I can't
Somebody
remember when
did.
we did that, but I don't recall getting commissioner approval to do so,
Mhm.
but we
No.
might have.
Well, we didn't, but because of the lease, we wouldn't have to, cause that's, oh, for the courthouse
For the
park, that's
courthouse park,
right.
Yeah, for the courthouse.
That's right, we
park.
were treated, because everybody thought that we had the same agreement for the courthouse park as we had for that park,
Mhm.
I guess.
I'm not finding it in here.
But I'm with you, I know we've had claims,
We have,
so I know we cover it, but whether or not the buildings are covered is, you know, if we maintain the park, the liability part, maybe that's different.
I
guess
would
first
have
thing
no
is
idea.
ask the county what they, where we're at. Before
Yeah.
we know where we're going, we can talk all night long,
Mhm.
Yeah.
until we talk to county, we'll not know where we're at.
Okay, we can visit with them then. Building permits.
Got just the one for the concrete patio.
And the problem is also,
No issues? I'm gonna approve the building permit.
You don't have one in your packet? Oh,
I didn't, well, I thought he had it, sorry, I didn't realize he had it. I did. Sorry, Lila, I thought it was one that he hadn't gotten. I'm just used to them getting passed around. All right, senior center letter of support.
yeah, and you can just sign the
Sign
one.
this one?
Mm-hmm.
One without.
Oh, no, here. I'm sorry. This one.
That'll work. Everybody okay with that letter?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright. St. Francis Area Christmas Celebrations Special Event Permit.
One thing that's a little confusing on this is they had electricity written on there, but they're not expecting electricity from the city. They just thought that they had to put that on there because there was a place in the front to say if they would be using electricity. They're going to be using, some of the businesses are gonna let them run extension cords or something if they need electricity. So that's what that is.
But they are gonna, they do want to.
Yes, they want to close the streets and the map is there.
Just past 202.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be approved.
Okay.
Moved by Larry, seconded by Justin, all in favor? Do we need to waive fees?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you wanna wait that.
Did that include the waive?
That includes waiving the fees.
Okay, thank you.
I'm still trying to figure out what to do. Oh,
Alright, old business, access road, I need to, what? Got him calling on that phone,
Yeah, I guess.
just put him on speaker on that.
Maybe this one tripping.
Careful. Hello? Hey, hang on one second, let me figure out how to put you on speaker.
Yep.
Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, can everybody hear? Alright. So, I got your email this afternoon and I sent it to everybody, I don't know if they all had a chance to look it over. Do you have any initial thoughts for us, or?
We losing?
Are you there, Michael?
You are very, very quiet on my end.
Okay, sorry, we've got a different phone system and we don't,
There we go, that's
There.
much better.
okay, so, and we are an open meeting, and that is, okay, correct? To discuss
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
Okay,
we're good.
okay, do you have any initial thoughts for us, or on the agreement?
No, I think, we are at the point where I've reviewed everything, that's been presented with KDOT. Every request that I've made has either been, included in the agreement, or, Harrison Baker and I have discussed it and worked out any concerns we've had, and actually, frankly, I think any edit I've requested has been made. We had some clarification on ownership of the road between the city and county. That's been resolved, and a couple of little questions that we've had, have also been addressed. So I don't have any issues moving forward. Leslie Vines approved the agreement today as well, so I think it's just a matter of the agreement being approved by the city and the county formally.
question I had is, I just kinda skimmed through the agreement, but what's the explanation on the crossovers? Whose responsibility is that gonna be?
Okay. Crossovers. Let me pull up the email here. I can tell you exactly. Something Harrison and I have discussed. I believe the crossovers on the north side are getting repaired by the ADOT.
But it doesn't
The
specifically,
south side is not included.
does it,
say that somewhere in the agreement?
Well, the crossovers are gonna remain part of the highway.
Okay, so they will be the state's responsibility to take care of them?
That is my understanding. And then curb maintenance and other matters are gonna be addressed when we, and that would just be curbs on the highway would be addressed with the new connecting link agreement.
I have concerns regarding the wording of
But it was my understanding that the crossovers are not going to be on the city.
that's, I mean, that's my understanding from looking at
the right of
the-
the turn back.
Yeah, the picture that they sent from your and I's discussions, that it's basically from the north side of the islands, correct? The north edge of the islands, basically that curve north
Yeah.
will be city property if we agree to this. And that will, they'll do the 2-inch mill and overlay, then we'll take ownership, but it says like in a year or something, does that seem kind of, within a year they'll
Yeah,
file the deed?
So basically the issue there is it may take a while before the deed is finalized, and that's bureaucracy is what it comes down to. Is the project may be completed on, January 1, but we may not have a deed in hand until May 1. And that's just, ADOT is slow on that end, but we've added some language in the agreement that makes it clear that upon, completion, there's no question that it's gonna be city-owned even while the deed is pending. That way, there's no limbo. We can always go back to the agreement to get that clarified.
So
Even while the deed is out.
we'd be responsible from the point that it's fixed, even though the deed might take 6 months to file.
Correct. That way, the city has every right to do what they need to do. And back to the crossovers, what I do have, it wasn't in an email from Harrison, why it took me a minute. In our comments on the agreement itself, the north side crossovers are to be resurfaced as part of the project. So they will be addressed.
Now and in the future?
That's my
In the
question,
future,
go ahead.
in the future, that's something we'll have to address in that connecting link agreement. Because in my opinion, when we'll see this on the meets and bounds description and we see it in that map attached, the crossovers are not in that area that the city's receiving. The city's not receiving it, we're not responsible for it.
So are we gonna be in the same boat 5 years from now when they're in bad shape and the state won't fix them and they're not our property? I mean,
I don't think so, because I think this is pretty clear that we are only responsible for the property that's received.
correct, but I'm just saying we're having problems with the access road that is theirs that they haven't been fixing. Are they gonna get to a point of, we don't have money, we're not gonna fix all those crossovers and they'll be in the state of disrepair like they are now?
I don't think so, because the whole reason we're in this mess right now is because there's no clear ownership. They think that there's never deeded over to the county, or not the county, I'm sorry, KDOT. in this event, we'll have the clear deed that says who owns it.
Even though that they're clear that they can deed it over to us, they must admit that they own it, in my thinking.
Well, it's no different than we can quit claim deed it to them. It's just a way to clear it up of record.
Michael, another question I had is who's going to maintain the medians if that is state-owned property? Cause the city's done that for several years.
What they are stating is, and he's confirming this, my understanding is that it would be functionally the same as the status quo, where it is the KDOT's right-of-way, but the city would maintain mowing.
What if we don't agree to that? Just asking.
Then we'll have a different discussion to have.
Yeah, I mean, if we're putting all this in a connecting link agreement that we're not even on the table discussing, what happens if some of those things aren't agreeable on our part, or on their part, you know?
Yeah, looking at the map, they're definitely stating that red line there is going to belong to the city, and those,
And from what I've been told, I've not seen the proposed connecting link agreement, but it sounds like it is the boilerplate agreement that they are having all cities sign. And there isn't much negotiation around that from what I've been told by KDOT. But I have not seen the agreement yet, to fully tell you what that may be. Because typically that connecting link agreement is just, you're not gonna be responsible for snow removal, maintenance of the highway. That way it's all on them. In lieu of that, sometimes cities will say, okay, well, you're gonna give us X number of dollars per lane feet per year, and then you're gonna be responsible for it. Which I assume is not something you want to do.
Probably not. I mean, what, the other part in the agreement about giving them access or something, I don't remember what that was exactly.
Giving them access.
It had something to do with right of way. You gotta find it.
Yeah, that provision, I think you're looking at Article 3, Paragraph 3, and applies to the city and the county, and that's just essentially that if they need to utilize the city right away to get to places, park equipment or something, they would have the right to do so, but they're to contact the city and work something out as part of that.
Okay.
Or if additional right-of-way is required, the city and KDOT would work on that. I don't anticipate any of that happening because it's just gonna be a resurfacing project, they're not widening the highway.
So here's a random scenario. What if the city decides in a couple of years that they wanna close off one or two or three of those intersections? Can we do
That's not
that
ours.
It's not our property.
because of the crossovers? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
The way I see it is the frontage road would be city-owned property. If you wanted to, let's say, close it on the north side of the frontage road where it doesn't go all the way through, you would have every right to do so. Now, as to blocking off the access to the highway, that's something we'd have to work with KDOT on, because that would be essentially jointly owned where that intersection would be. Now, they, in our prior negotiations, I don't think they had any issue going that route. It was something that was suggested at one point, but that would be kind of a mess to start closing some of the access points, considering the existing makeup of that part of the city.
Right, and I understand that.
They're still planning on doing that in the spring.
Did you hear Bud? He asked if they're still planning to do that in the spring?
Yes, I did not hear him there, I'm sorry. They're gonna do the bid letting here shortly. I don't know when the start date would be, but I do believe it would be in the spring.
Are we gonna be able to have time, are we gonna be able to do anything with the curb and gutter on the north side?
Bud's asking if we would have time to do anything with the curb and gutter on the north side. Cause there's some places that we're gonna have to repair that prior to this work getting done.
I would assume you would. I can talk to KDOT about that. That would probably be something that would be discussed between, your Public Works Department and the KDOT local guys about the time frame and how exactly that would work.
And are they still gonna go ahead and go all the way down to the car wash with it, because on the county part,
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
they are?
Yeah. Bud was asking if they were gonna go all the way to the car wash, which they are, cause that would be the part in the county of that agreement.
Yes, they are going basically all the entire length of that frontage road is gonna be addressed.
Lauren has a question.
I have concerns about Article 5, Paragraph 5, the city connecting link, which is on page 9 of 12 of the contract, which states the final sentence, as a condition of this project, after the conclusion of the project, the city shall agree to a new connecting link maintenance agreement as created by the secretary. I understand that that's kind of you stated that that's somewhat of a form and there's not much negotiation. But the verbiage of this makes it seem like they could change their form and make it very favorable to them and unfavorable to the city. And we would be required to agree to any terms they put forth. There would be no discussion on it. And we will not see this document until after we've already obligated ourselves to agreeing to it.
Yes, and that's something I've had concerns about, which is why, I was asking Harrison to provide a copy of a form connecting link agreement. He's getting that together for me to review, and that's when he's told me that, this is the new form connecting link agreement that we're using with all cities. And again, the connecting link agreement, that is not regarding maintenance of the frontage road or anything. It's really just who's gonna handle the maintenance of Highway 36 itself, which is why it's typically a boilerplate agreement with little negotiation, because very few cities want to have anything to do with the highway itself.
Right.
Basically,
I mean, if it's a form, they should be able to send it to us.
KDOT's gonna take on that responsibility, maintenance and snow removal, and you're not gonna be responsible for it even though it's in city limits.
Basically the same as the 1978 one, just updated, cause that was pretty much what it stated,
Updated.
correct?
Yes, updated with better language, because there's so many gaps in those old ones.
Mm-hmm.
I think the new ones try to clarify some of those things. Because I don't think you've ever had any issue with the connecting link agreement except for the issue with the frontage road.
The frontage,
And as KDOT's told me, and I've looked at it myself, I don't think there's very many cities who have the same type of setup you
Right.
do,
and that's,
where you have this area.
we've asked KDOT to show us another town where I think we're the only ones in the state of Kansas that has this sort of a setup.
Yeah. And after this deal is done one way or another, the only purpose of the connecting link agreement is basically where you are punting
The snow removal
highway
and,
maintenance
yeah.
to KDOT, which is where it should be.
But then we still have the islands and the crossovers that are gonna be in question then on who's to maintain those? If the connecting link agreement doesn't address that?
Yeah, and those would be the things we'd be looking for, is how that's addressed in there. That's why Harrison had mentioned maintaining the status quo with what you already have, because I think that's pretty standard across the state.
I caution the council, I mean, he's the attorney in this specific matter, but I caution the council to agree to bind yourselves to sign something as prepared, as created by the secretary without seeing what it is. I mean, without language that it shall be a new connecting link maintenance agreement as created by the secretary, which shall not be any more detrimental or less favorable than that of other cities of the third class. At least a caveat in there stating that it has to be as good as what they have with other cities.
Did you catch all that, Michael?
And that termination
Bits
clause down
and
there on
pieces
that.
of it. Because I understand the concern completely, and I did not like the language when I initially reviewed it. But after discussing it with KDOT's attorney, looking at some other agreements I was able to find in other cities, I don't have any serious concerns that it's gonna be a huge issue. And we do have language in the agreement that says, until a new connecting link agreement is agreed to, the current one will remain.
Right, but
So that gives us time to get everything sorted out.
But then it also says that we shall agree to it as prepared by the secretary. So until, I mean, that just means until they prepare it and we're obligated to agree to it, the old one stays in place. If it's gonna be, I mean, if it's just a form, there's not gonna be much negotiation. Would there be an issue stating, putting at the end of that as prepared by the secretary, or as created by the secretary, which shall not be less favorable than other connecting link agreements with other cities of the third class? I mean, just something to put it in there, because with that verbiage, they could create it. I mean, I don't know if they would be this retaliatory, but we've been enough of a thorn in their side that I'm concerned they may create something less favorable for us. And we would have no control, we would have no control or negotiation over that.
I mean, we could request it. And again, I don't think we'd run into the issue. That's not the way these connecting link agreements have operated. It is really just regarding maintenance of the highway. It has nothing to do with any city-owned property. And I can request it, but I don't think it would do much good in this case.
Which, I get the connecting link agreement is the agreement for maintaining the highway, but then there's that gray area of the crossovers and the medians that are gonna be addressed in the connecting link agreement, but they're not really in the connecting link agreement because it's boilerplate from city to city. So aren't we still kind of in that limbo of who's to maintain what without having that in some sort of an agreement?
And that-
If it's
you
a
brought
form,
it up well.
why can't-
And that's something we'll be able to address when we get to that point. Let me see if I can find a connecting link agreement for another city on their website real quick.
If it's a boilerplate form, why can't they give us one before we sign this?
Michael, if it's a boilerplate form, why can't we have that available prior to signing this agreement?
I'm sure we can.
I'm
I
with
could
Lauren,
request it.
I'm with Lauren, the way that words is we have to, basically, we will agree to whatever connecting link agreement after we sign this and agree to the work getting done, that we're kind of bound to whatever that agreement's gonna be without even seeing it.
They very well could say, you're responsible for
And-
snow
and-
removal, we'll give you some
read
money, and we don't have the
differently.
equipment for it.
I don't think this is reads as you have to sign on the dotted line. It's just stating that the connecting link agreement will be prepared by the secretary and we need to enter into an agreement. It doesn't say that we don't have the right to discuss it and go over any concerns.
Shall agree to a new city connecting link
I mean, the
agreement
reality
as
of it
created by the
is typically a
secretary.
boilerplate agreement and there's very little negotiation because typically I don't think there's much to negotiate.
Michael, you pretty much already said that the state will take care of the crossovers and the city will be responsible for taking care of the medians. The maintenance.
That's what their attorney has indicated, that it would likely be maintaining status quo, which would be the city's been mowing the crossovers for, I don't know, or not the crossovers, but the median for, I don't know how long.
Less than 10 years, cause I've been on council since we sent them a weed letter when they stopped mowing them, so.
Also, it's your fault.
So, I know it's been in the last 10 years.
When was it they went, they went in and redid those medians 15 years ago.
Okay, I'm finding something here. So the typical agreement looks like city responsibility for maintaining parking meters, maintaining sidewalks, snow removal on sidewalks, street illumination systems, traffic signals, storm drain systems, snow removal, signs for pedestrian school crosswalks, local directional signs, mowing, maintenance of open ditches, surfacing of side streets, drainage structures, maintenance of curb and gutter, and then city streets outside of connecting link travel way. That looks to be what the city responsibility would most likely be.
How much of the curb and gutter on the highway part are they gonna maintain? Or are they gonna only maintain the asphalt part? Since we're doing the median, if we're mowing the medians, does that mean we're gonna end up with that curb and gutter?
Did you hear any of that, Michael?
I did not. I can hear someone's talking, but I can't make out
So Bud's question,
exactly what's being said.
Bud's question is the curb and gutter, and correct me if I'm wrong, I agree, my understanding is the connecting link agreement is basically, gutter to gutter. They maintain the asphalt, it's nothing outside of that, correct?
That's my understanding.
So the curb and gutter on the medians, all of that, even though it's state-owned property, would be our responsibility to maintain?
That's what the form agreement suggests.
That's putting a lot more on the city than I was expecting.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. I thought the curb and
Whenever
gutter,
I heard him say curb and gutter, and on the north side,
I
on
think-
our side, I could see it.
I thought the curb and gutter on the highway, side to side, was responsibility of the state.
I think we need to see the connecting link agreement before we sign this. If it truly is boilerplate provisions, there's no reason they shouldn't be able to put one together. I mean, they drafted this, and got it together. I don't see any reason why they couldn't get us why we couldn't draft it.
In 2 weeks.
I'd definitely like to see this curb and gutter situation. I'd like to know who's gonna fix
I
that.
think that's the same thing as the city. City owns the right of way, the homeowner takes care of the curb and gutter, it's the same way. State can do whatever they want, but we maintain it. I mean, it's no different.
Are you hearing all that, Michael?
I'm not hearing any of it.
Okay, sorry, this phone, we don't have those little, mics to pass around on the table. Bud, do you wanna repeat what you said?
I'm very concerned about the fact that, the curb and gutter, cause I heard you mention that on that, is, on the highway part of itself, that, if that's gonna go with the right-of-ways or the mediums, then that's gonna put a lot more burden on the city. And so I'd like to get a good understanding who's doing the curb and gutter on that mediums.
Next to the highway.
Yeah.
The
that-
south side of the curb and gutter on the south side of the median.
Both sides.
Yeah, on the south side.
On both sides, yeah.
Well, we'll own the.
No, we don't actually own the.
If you look at where the line is, it includes the curb and gutter
On the-
on the north side of the
on
median.
North side.
Right,
Both sides.
right. But they said both sides, and it's not both sides.
And that's the reason, I looked at this and he mentioned that in that deal that he was reading off, he mentioned that we would be, we would own the curb and gutter. But does that mean on both sides or on the highway side? Or on the access road side? If we own the access road side, I understand, But are we gonna have to do all of that all the way up and down the highway? That is a lot more money and more maintenance.
That's always been state responsibility. If they're gonna redo the road, they've gotta fix their curb and gutter to hold it in place.
Right,
Why
but it,
was
The
that
way I
correct?
just understood that, they only do asphalt. Once it
That's-
goes
they
to the
do
concrete,
asphalt.
it's ours.
Well, they-
That's what I just
Sometimes
understood.
they blade it past there. You know, they throw
Well,
it
do
up.
you have any curb and gutter on the highway there?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
every
On the
single
highway
median, every
itself.
single median has a curb on it, and there's some in very bad shape.
It goes all the way from the vet, all the way up to,
Yeah, and there's curb on the
Almost to the
south side too, yeah.
Yep, curb and gutter on both sides. They're
Both
both,
sides
they're
of the, yeah,
surrounded.
south side and the north side of the highway, and then you've got it on the south side of the access road, which we understand. The south side of the access road, which would be the north side of the medians, if we're taking over ownership of the access road, we would want to maintain that curb and gutter to preserve our street, but are they going to
Yeah, the
maintain?
curb and gutter on the access road is gonna be yours.
right,
Correct.
that's,
The
We got
connecting
that.
link agreement covers the curb and gutter on Highway 36.
Are you sure about that? Cause I thought it was just asphalt.
That's
I
what
thought
we
it, that's the way it's always been told to me by
Yeah, but
KDOT.
what I'm saying is the connecting link agreement only pertains to Highway 36. It doesn't cover anything else.
So who's gonna
It
maintain
doesn't
the
cover
curb and
anything
gutter?
with your road.
So who's gonna maintain the curb and gutter on the highway? Is what the question is, basically.
Yeah. The mediums are completely surrounded by curb and gutter. Each medium is independent and completely surrounded by curb and gutter.
does Michael have his contract up? Does he have, can we check if he has that? Michael, can you look at page 21 of the last page of Exhibit 1?
Last page of Exhibit 1.
Yep, so it should be page 21 of 21 on the PDF.
Pull up a different document. I haven't printed off a copy.
not only the curb and gutter, but there's drainage.
Yeah. Drainage that no longer functions.
Well, they're already tore up or,
Okay, the map there, yes.
Okay, so that red strip is covering the access road and the north curb on those medians. But every median between the streets which run north and south have curb and gutter all the way around them and drainage that are on the highway. And so if we're not assuming, we're not taking ownership of the medians and we're not taking ownership of the south side of those medians or that curb and gutter, if the connecting link only connects to is only pertaining to the asphalt, then all along that whole stretch, all of those medians have curb and gutter and drainage that would need to be addressed as to who is responsible for them. Do you see it looks kind of white, but it's a pale gray line that's the curb and gutter.
Yeah, I see where we're at now. Yes.
And there would also be curb and gutter on the south side of the highway.
Right.
And I can request more information on that. I mean, that's something that hasn't really been on the forefront of my mind. It's been more the frontage road than it has been the highway itself.
But this
To
is,
get more clarification on that. I mean, I don't really see the KDOT wanting the city to, rebuild a curb and gutter on their right of way, but
And
You
I
never
get
know.
that, but then if they
I can
don't,
find out and get
if they're not
clarification.
maintaining it,
well, if they're wanting us to maintain, the medians, that's gonna include that curb and gutter according to what you just read off, that they maintain just the asphalt. That would put the curb and gutter on us, and I don't think that's quite right.
did you catch all that?
Not quite.
No.
I'm a lot.
Well,
I'm a
just
lot
same
louder.
basic thing as I said, if they're expecting us to maintain those, mediums, and if they're only, in charge of the asphalt, that's putting the curb and gutter on, the south side of those medians in our, maintenance, and, that, we should not be doing that, and so we need clarification if we're gonna have to mow the medians, are we gonna have to take care of that?
Yeah, and I'll ask on the mowing and the curb and gutter. Now, when I did ask him about ownership of the islands, as I put it in an email to him a few weeks ago, he had mentioned that it'd be functionally the same status quo where the city would maintain like mowing and such. So I think mowing would probably still be city responsibility. It's just
That's
the
fine.
curbs are up in the air.
We've been doing that for 15 years.
Less than 10.
Huh?
Less than 10.
Less than 10?
Mhm.
I thought, okay. I know when they redid them, I didn't know if that's when we started.
Mm-mm.
But, anyway, mowing is one thing, but taking care of the south side curb and gutter is a whole new ball of wax.
Justin, did you have input?
No. We're just kind of in the same boat. I mean, whether we decide what we wanna do or not, it's always up to the state. I mean, we're basically in the same situation with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's my concern, is we get to this
But-
agreement on the frontage road, and then we're gonna be in this predicament with the crossovers in 5 years on who's gonna maintain it, and we won't own it, and then we're gonna be in the same boat, I feel, that
That
we'll be
section
arguing
you were
over
in, that
whether or
last
not they're gonna
section of
fix them or not.
termination, it just says if they run short of money, they just have to tell us
But I
in
don't
writing that they're done with it. That's
I
all,
think they're gonna
that's
give it
what
to
it
us no
said
matter
right
what we
there.
do, so
All they have to do is
We
tell
just
us in
kinda have to be
writing
a
that they
little
don't
more
have the
proactive
money
in
and
what
they're
we wanna
done.
do and state it.
Wouldn't it make sense that the state would take care of the curb and gutter that
But once their highway, I would think so.
is on both sides of their highway to keep everything in place?
That would be my thought as well, because I assume they want it to their specifications.
Well, and they're
And
not gonna,
like I said, I'll get the clarification on maintenance of curb and gutter. I don't know if that means actual construction, or does it mean, there's a bunch of, junk sitting in the curb and gutter, you need to go clean it up.
There is.
I mean, that's completely different than redoing it. So we just need the clarification on what they would want with that.
We need clarification on who's gonna fix it,
yeah,
not clean it, fix
Well,
it.
they need to clean it too, because it's not doing any good. It's
yeah.
dirt right there.
I was gonna say, there's a bunch of them full of dirt.
So it's really not helping anybody.
Do you agree with me on that last section?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what we,
But I think they're gonna do what they're gonna do on the spring.
Yeah.
We need to do something with this access road to help us.
Cause
And then
it's a
figure
take
that-
it or leave it thing.
Yeah,
That's
and
what
then
they're putting out there is,
interlocking might be just a separate thing.
this is
we
what
have to
we're
do.
proposing.
Mhm.
We can withdraw it.
Can we?
No,
Oh,
them.
they can withdraw.
I mean,
Yes, I was like,
it's take it or
once
leave
we
it. I
agree,
mean,
yeah.
that's what
That's
they're
basically
saying.
what they can do. I mean, the state can do whatever they want.
Well, see, we need to see if they'll get us that paperwork
mhm.
and let us read it and get a clarification of the curb and gutter on the south side
of the median.
of the median,
Well,
yes.
anywhere along the highway.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so what Bud said was getting a copy of the connecting link agreement, so we can see what that says, and then clarification on maintaining the curb and gutter along the highway.
Okay, yep, that's not a problem.
And what the definition of maintaining is, does it mean replacement on our dime if there's damage, or is it just cleaning up, piles of dirt with a street sweeper? What does it really mean?
You know, basically, what is their responsibility?
I guess let me ask you this too, has KDOT ever come to the city and said, hey, you need to replace any curb and gutter on the highway? Has that ever come up before?
No.
No.
I can't remember any of that ever being,
I don't know the last time that they've
I
repaired
can't
any of
remember it's
the,
ever been fixed since I
there's some that
can
needs
remember.
to be repaired, for sure.
But it's an assumption that they would take care of that when they do the highway.
The those assumptions get you in trouble.
Well, I get that. In order to contain the highway,
Yeah, you don't wanna spend the expense of putting in a good road just to not have it maintained
Well,
because the curb and gutter's not.
The mill and tear out is just a Band-Aid until
Right, it's a
afterwards.
Band-Aid anyway.
It's just gonna last
Yeah.
so many years, and then they tear the whole thing out. They're not gonna replace it.
But we
right now.
don't need two Band-Aids, one on each side of the road.
Well, that's what they're gonna do, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just like when they do interstate, they put that mill and overlay on that, lasts about 2 or 3 years, and then they tear the whole thing out again. Then we just concentrate on access road here, if you want. We gotta get that,
Yeah, get that, get clarification on this other stuff and
and then make,
get stuff done.
yeah, and then try to get your interconnecting road linked to that. And right now, you got 2 separate things going on, but I think the priority is the access road for us. They're gonna do what they want. Let's just make it halfway decent and go from there. Let the community know that this is what we're gonna do. And maybe a possibility that we have to take care of everything, so we just don't know.
We just need to get as much of it as we can. And
But we're running out of time.
Right, yeah, we need to get this going. And we might as well assume that we're gonna wind up having to fix the crossovers in 5 years.
Yeah.
So let's assume that we're gonna pay for concreting that, each one at a time. So they're fixed properly.
that's a question you should ask Michael, being as how it's their right of way and their crossover way.
Right.
I don't know that we could go in and.
Allowed to do that.
Right,
Yeah.
we'll have to find that out later, I guess.
Michael, did you catch that?
Not really.
So, Kale's thinking was the crossovers are probably gonna be our responsibility to maintain in 5 years when they need replaced. But if we don't own them, do we have the, I mean, it's
Yeah,
really
could
not
we-
our road to go in and repair. Is that something,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, they say they're gonna do it now when they do the 2-inch mill and overlay for the access road, when they do the highway. But long-term maintenance, if they retain ownership, are they going to come back in and fix them?
And that's where you get into the situation of, if it is KDOT's property and it needs to be repaired, you can't force them to repair it because they have a statute that says that they have discretion on how they maintain their property.
Correct, and it would not be ours to repair, so we're gonna be in the same boat 5 years from now or 10 years from now, when those crossovers start going kaput, that we don't have any authority to do anything, correct? It's not ours and we can't force KDOT to do anything.
That would be my understanding, assuming the crossovers are going to be KDOT owned property, and that is my assumption.
Another
Is it-
one of them fights we're gonna have to fight down the road,
Mhm.
Yep.
and it's not a good thought, but right now, we're still, they're holding the cards, and it's still not
Yeah,
good.
as well.
Yeah.
They always will, it's their road.
Yeah.
Bud said they're holding the cards and it's, favorable to them, and I said, well, that's the way, it's always been that way, and,
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing, and like we've discussed before, with that statute, it says they have discretion. I mean, we can get a court order that says everything is their property. You can't force them to fix it though.
mhm.
And the bad part is, you can't fix it even if you had the money, you're not allowed to touch it.
Yep.
I've already done that.
Do we still have the 2 weeks before we actually sign this agreement, do we still have that time frame?
Yes.
Yes.
So can you get that paper to us so we
So
can?
I'll request everything from him tomorrow. I may not, he's usually pretty quick about responding, but with tomorrow being Veterans Day, I may not get a response from him.
Where exactly does the crossover start and end?
Did you catch that? Justin,
No, I heard him talking, but it's not what was said.
Justin says, where exactly does the crossover start and end? I would say
I can get
between
clarification on that as well.
gutter to gutter, wouldn't it? I mean, cause there's a gutter on both sides of that crossover would be,
Yeah.
basically where the median is, I mean, that would be the passageway of the roadway where the real estate of the median would be.
Yeah, and we'll have the full meets and bounds description of what the frontage road, and the way I'm reading everything is everything outside the frontage road will be KDOT property on their right of way.
I guess we need to wait until we get
He
those
was talking-
papers. And
Rectangle or whatever. Your crossovers.
Yeah.
You got a piece right
For
there.
the
Anything past that's our responsibility.
meeting.
But when?
There's
It's
an
just,
apron
it's
through
an
there,
apron.
so,
Yeah.
I just need the, they've already decided.
You can always close it
What's
yourself.
that letter I sent to everybody?
You
They
just have a
already
couple of
decided it
them.
was gonna be.
we have to close
Temporary
those,
one.
we'd have
That
to
needs to
do
be
them
on
on the
this.
west side.
No, it's not on this one.
You can
On
close
this
them
one.
on the south side.
That
Right, Michael? We couldn't close
You
any.
can't come on the access road.
You'd be able to close part of the access road if you see fit, because it'd be your road.
But is there, I've looked at the access road many a time, I don't see which ones you could close and really be practical.
It would
Francis
be
Street,
just a, protest.
what's that?
Be just a protest.
There's a business on almost every one of them, so it almost makes it to where you need to keep them open.
But they could turn down one
They could
street and
turn
go
down,
down the,
yeah.
Yeah, I
for a
know.
couple of blocks and come back on,
Yeah,
yeah. It would be doable, you'd have to leave,
about every other one.
Right.
yeah, you'd have to leave River, Benton, College, and Quincy for the hospital, for sure.
Yeah. But I don't know, if it can be doable, it's better to leave it the way it is,
I'm
myself.
just saying it's a pain in the ass and they gotta fix it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And as far as traffic control, we would maintain that once we own the access road?
Yeah, once you have the access road, you're in full control of it.
That's all I got.
Anybody else? Guess we'll, put it back in your court to get the information from KDOT, and once you get it, you can send it to me and I can pass that along.
Yep, I'll just get a clarification, because it sounds like, I mean, there's no concerns with the existing agreement, it's just the connecting link agreement that will be down the road.
The only thing with the existing is that, yeah, that comment about that we shall sign the connecting link agreement in the future without any sorts of what exactly is gonna be in that connecting link agreement. I think that was really the only concern with the agreement, so if we need clarification on that and the curb and gutter, we should be good, I
Yep,
think.
urban gutter is gonna be the main focus there, and find out exactly, on what that's going to be, and just while I'm in here, I've been looking at connecting link agreements for other cities, and it does look like there is some ability to negotiate some of the terms, because I have been seeing some variations where some cities have been able to, add additional maintenance provisions.
So we could add something that, for the crossovers,
Mm-hmm,
curb and gutter,
yeah. But we'll get that clarification.
okay,
Thanks, Michael.
yep, sounds good.
Yep. No
Alrighty,
problem. I will work on this week, that way we can get this thing moving along and hopefully, have it ready to go next meeting.
okay, sounds good,
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Before you move on, since we're having a special meeting, we need the special
Oh.
meeting documents
Yes.
done. So I just need 3 council members to sign that.
Then we did have that letter that went out Friday.
Yes. Yeah, everybody has a copy of that.
Property cleanup.
Well, you got some pictures, but they're not as good as that one. I don't know what happened to the camera, but I did not get time to go back and get them again, so.
And we got clarification on the list, correct?
Yes, yes.
From last
That was
meeting.
what you guys, mostly what you guys wanted from last meeting. I didn't get one of them.
Oh,
They get better.
down here.
So the process on that list, just so everybody knows, it was a little unclear. We've clarified it in the office that when the pictures are brought in and Wyatt puts them on that spreadsheet, that abatement date is the abatement deadline. When that is there or the day before, he's gonna let Dan know, so Dan knows he needs to follow up on those properties, cause I think that's where it was falling apart was at that. So we've talked about that, we've got a plan moving forward that I think it'll work. Because he can't go and look at them again if Dan doesn't know the dates, so.
So do we need to follow up on those that
Mhm.
didn't pass, like, made it past the abatement date?
Yes, and I
Issue
gave those
citations on
addresses to, well, if Dan had time to look at them, yes.
Yeah,
Is that what these
all
are?
but one of the pictures, yeah, I did get one of them.
Those pictures.
So these are the ones that we talked about that have not gotten letters. These are the ones that,
There's three of them that did get letters and a couple of them didn't get letters. Some of them did get letters, some of them did not.
so I guess, so I can understand. So the ones that did get letters that are past the abatement date, we will issue citations then if they're not cleaned up? Cause, well, I don't have the list, yeah, so I'm like, I don't remember what was on there,
How come
Some
you
of them are old, and I wonder where you just start.
start over, that's what I was wondering if we've,
They're pretty old. I mean,
Yeah.
some of them have been
I would
August,
say
September.
just start over now and we'll,
August, September isn't as old as what some of them I thought were older
Mhm.
than that.
So we're just gonna treat these like brand new
that's what I would,
yeah.
we just,
and then move
and
forward.
I'll have to get addresses to you.
And how long they get?
15 days.
From the date that it's delivered,
They get citation after the 15 days?
if they're not in compliance.
They can request a hearing, right?
Yes, they can
Yes.
request a hearing
Within
within
10 days.
10
Or-
days.
10 days. And it's 15 for cosmetic, but 45 for structural.
Yes.
What about the structure one on Emerson?
I haven't heard.
You did get the letter out.
I haven't heard. I didn't send it certified. We haven't sent the previous ones, the first one certified.
So when was the deadline on that one?
The first meeting of December.
Okay. And then Dan and I went and looked at the one on South Adams today. Inside, it's structurally okay. They are going to, they said within the month, put new siding on, and they were gonna put a new roof on, and I said, well, if we give you 6 months. And they thought that was plenty enough time, and I said, well, if you're gonna put a new roof on, it's gonna have to be springtime.
Which one's Adams?
the old Howard property.
It's across from the Seventh Day Adventist Church.
Okay.
So, that one we did go look at, we gave them 6 months to put siding and a roof on. They thought they'd have siding done before that, but I figured with it getting winter time that they would need warmer weather to put a roof on, so. That one, I guess, if you wanna put it on a calendar for 6 months from today,
Follow up.
yeah, maybe five months from today, that we have a month to, or they have a month to be compliant, so we can either check them off the list or get them a letter.
Okay.
And then the Third Street property we're going to look at Friday, so,
Here.
the Howard property that we've been
Going rounds.
for 3 years. Yes.
You guys are gonna,
Dan and I are gonna go inspect it to see structurally.
I'm sorry, is that the one that got the condemnation letter?
The Howard property, that's correct. It would be five.
28? No. Hold on.
It's an even number, 5 something East Third.
I have it. Hold on. I can look.
520?
20 doesn't sound, is it that crazy to?
528?
I don't know.
Anyways, Dan and I are going to look at that one on Friday. We looked at the Adams Street one today. So we'll get letters sent on those. 3, 4, I couldn't tell how many. Sorry, I couldn't tell.
Whatever you take your brother.
Yeah. Well, we've got the
Right.
Emerson Street, correct, and then the one up on River. Was there 2 on River? 3 on River.
528 East 3rd.
Yeah, 3 of
So I just need to clarify.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're gonna write addresses on these pictures, and these are the ones that you guys want to have letters sent to. And I'll just get the addresses from him to document in the minutes.
After you get new pictures.
I'll get
After,
better
yeah.
pictures. Try.
These have already gotten a letter? These were on the spreadsheet for the abatement dates?
Some of them have a letter, yes, but we just decided a little bit ago we're starting over.
Because it's been,
It's been so long since we've done it.
hang on 1 second. Yes, so we have the 203 East Emerson and 619 South River that had gotten letters August 18th and August 20th respectively, and their abatement date passed in September, the 1st and the 4th, and no follow-up was done.
Okay.
So those 2 are the only ones that had received letters. And then there was one that had been abated and one that got a citation that we dismissed. So, do we wanna follow up on the other 3 on this list? We had 616 South Denison that was not abated, and that was May. And then the 412 West Webster, we issued a citation and then we had to dismiss it.
I don't have that one down.
And then 616 South Denison got a second notice,
Is that the,
and they were not, that was July was their abatement date.
but is that the property that the issue?
No, different one.
Okay.
Different, but, yeah. So I don't know if we wanna go by that.
Sorry. Yes.
It should ring a bell. So we'll reissue the 2 that you have pictures there. And then the one North Benton was abated. And I don't know the 507 South Benton.
507 South Benton looks pretty good, it's in them pictures.
I thought it
but
was.
it's pretty cleaned up now.
Okay, so that one, and then we'll just have to relook at 616 South Denison to see if, cause that got,
27 South Bend.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's that?
Right behind Bristol Yards.
Oh,
yeah, I think that one's open.
Are you wanting to do 703 South Francis?
Yes, that was my next question for you, was what did you find out on 703 South Francis?
So there's nothing, shockingly, there's no, there's no firm legal precedent, but based on the statutory definition of a landlord and our ordinances, I think we can go ahead and proceed by having it served on the power of attorney.
Okay. Do you guys wanna move forward with 703 South Francis, okay?
And that one is cleanup, not condemnation.
so far,
What are your thoughts on that one?
How do we kind of condemnation?
I don't know how you, unless you could get in there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, I've not been by there. Well, I've had people tell me that, there are possibly people still living there, even though there are no utilities. I cannot confirm that, nor will I drive by on it.
And when they do not serve to, health and bills or whatever the hell it's called. Yep, health and check.
Do you want me to send a letter stating that
Do we want,
pursuant to the code, it needs to be inspected and they need to contact the city to arrange for a time for the city superintendent and mayor to determine
I
what?
think this one will pass to the, council president.
Do you want me to send a letter stating that city officials, they need to work with city officials to make available for an inspection as to the habitability of the premises?
I think for sure we need some sort of clean up our condemnation, I don't know.
I think if you're gonna do it, this is my 2 cents, I think you're gonna have to have some kind of police presence
Absolutely.
if you're gonna do it,
I mean, first we need to contact the power of attorney
yes.
and make it known that they will be entering the premises. Unless we just wanna do a property cleanup, in which case,
I think we're past that.
How long has it been without utilities?
A month and a half.
Yeah, I think it was a September shut off. Please don't quote me on that, but,
I mean, the structure is uninhabitable.
And we've heard nothing from the sheriff's department?
I wouldn't have anything to hear from them at this point. They were aware of the situation. I let them.
Cody and I discussed it today about property cleanup at the property.
Someone was talking to him over the weekend. Somebody at the property. One of the sheriffs was there.
Mm.
They just happened to see him, so they gotta have some information.
Which property is this?
703 South Francis.
North of the liquor store.
And then that place has been in disarray for a long time, so
Yeah.
I don't think there's much to clean up other than cleaning it out.
Well, yeah, there's no utilities for a month.
Mm-hmm.
I think have Lauren do the, contact the power of attorney and get somebody in there, right?
Well, it would,
Do
I
it.
mean,
They're gonna freeze this winter.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, if someone's in there, they're not gonna make it probably,
Our pipes are gonna freeze and.
or something's gonna happen. I don't know.
too bad. So you wanna proceed with condemnation then?
I mean, we can't proceed with condemnation until it's been inspected. I mean, we can't tell from, I mean, I don't know,
We did with the Howard property, we started with condemnation without inspecting it.
we didn't start the condemnation proceeding. We let them know
It was going to.
that it was going to be, if they didn't,
That's what I'm saying, you'd have to send a letter that,
right.
It sounds like you're gonna have to get with the power of attorney first to,
Well, the letter will have to.
Yeah, the letter will go to the power of attorney, and because they are not a resident of the state, that one will have to go certified mail, return receipt requested.
Which I think they kind of know that they're supposed to be getting it cleaned up.
But I mean, as far as, I feel like we're getting our wires crossed here as to whether, I mean, regardless of whether or not there's someone in there and not supposed to be, or whatever. I mean, that's not really the city's concern.
No. Whether or
The
not it's
the concern
structurally
is
sound.
whether or not it is structurally sound and inhabitable. I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, it needs to be cleaned up on the outside, but it doesn't need to be nice. It just needs to be livable. To be.
What's not
Could-
livable
could it
now?
be-
No utilities.
It's not livable now because of what?
No utilities?
Yeah, but that's not I mean, the utilities could be turned on. That doesn't make it uninhabitable. Is there a hole in the
It's a
roof?
safety risk if you got sewers filled up with nothing in it. So,
I
That's
don't
not the
think there's-
definition pursuant to the ordinance
I was gonna say,
with
I don't
no
think there's
utilities.
anything in our ordinance about-
Having I mean, there's,
Could we make it twofold, and, cause obviously the property needs cleaned up, the yard.
I will
the
send a
junk
letter,
in
I will
there,
send a letter that says that it is.
Property cleanup and then possible condemnation on the structure.
Right, and that,
So can we do a twofold cleanup and,
yes.
does that sound okay with that? Cause obviously the junk in the yard,
But is there anything to do with the structure that needs cleaned up?
yes, I mean, if it's sound, the siding,
Right, but I mean, I need that list. I mean, when you guys usually send a letter for cleanup, there's that list of what needs to be done, and whether it's structural or whether it's, I mean, the siding would be 45 days, whereas the junk in the yard is
that's what
15
I'm saying,
days.
it would be
Yeah, I mean, I would,
twofold of a property cleanup, junk in the yard, and condemnation.
yeah,
45
but
days.
property cleanup would also be the siding, which would be 45 days of property cleanup, not just the 15. The junk in the yard is 15, siding is 45. Condemnation is its own other thing. I mean, if it is structurally sound and it's not going to be condemned, the citing is a 45-day notice. So I need a list of all of the things that if it is structurally sound, I need a list of all the things so I can tell them.
Don't know that we know that it's structurally sound, that's what I'm saying.
Right. But I can say you need to contact City Hall to schedule a time to make this available for city officials to determine whether it's structurally sound. In the event it is determined that it's structurally sound, then these are the things and these are the timelines, but I need that list of things that if
why
they
can't
were,
we give them a time?
excuse me?
Why can't we give them a time instead of asking for them to give us a time?
Saying the city will meet you there this date at this time to
Yeah.
inspect the property, then to ask them.
I mean, there's nobody here in the state, so I mean, I can say that, but if you can't get into the property, you can't get into the property. So, I mean, I can say, this is what it is, give them the required notice of that, but if they can't get into the property, then they can't get into the property.
Would that be considered trespassing for us to just walk in without them being there? Is that?
Yes.
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 Just for clarification.
I mean, they don't have to be there, but you have to have permission.
Right, I just wanted to make sure everybody was on.
And if it's locked and you go in, then it's breaking and entering.
Well, you have a cop, like you said, first.
It's just,
Well,
you
yes,
still
okay.
can't do it
Yeah.
without permission.
I mean,
I will say this too on all property cleanups, I've suggested maybe getting a GoPro to put inside of the pickup rather than having to stop at each property to take photos and then taking stills off of the GoPro. That way there's not issues if you stop your property with a camera,
doesn't go over so well.
does not
Been
go
there.
over so well. I found that out one day when I had to do that for court several years ago. I think it's advisable that we do that before we start, whether it's Dan or any of you guys stopping to take a picture. I think it'd be better to have a GoPro and take the stills off of that as well. Just tossing that out there.
Yes, they're pricey and good cost, I mean,
I
I
think
don't
there's
think anybody's
probably-
against it, just,
Yeah.
I can't imagine it'd be more than 500.
No, I'm just saying, I think there's gonna be
Nope.
some properties you go to start taking pictures and have to stop and it's,
you want them to just go ahead and find one if it's less than 500?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
1,500, isn't that our limit?
Yeah, and I was just saying that that's just, I'm
Trust me,
tossing that
this
out
one,
there.
I've been there and done that on this
Tossing
particular
that
one.
out there.
Well, that one, why can't you just request an officer to go with you, take pictures?
We usually have the pictures, and we did that before where we sent them pictures with the letters and the list of things that they needed to do for cleanup. It's just, you're taking pictures from the street. There's nothing illegal about it. It's just a matter of somebody sees you.
The top of the line GoPro, the new Max 2, is $500 for $499.99. There are other ones which are,
Cheap enough, just.
Yeah.
no, there's plenty of cheap, but that's, I mean, that is top of the line attached to a drone while you're snowboarding down the mountain. But,
Drone.
Oh, there we go.
oh my God, don't. Stop. Right now, no.
Why
So-
can't you use it?
If we had one, we could,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, not
There you
inherently,
go.
because there's an issue with the looking over the fence thing.
Oh,
I haven't had mine.
There's no
yet.
fence, so.
I guess.
Lauren, there's no fence on this property.
Okay, well, there are other properties where there are fence. No drones.
I have an RC airplane.
No drones. No. I. Drones are to me as Edna Mode is to capes. No capes. No drones.
Maybe we could get Google to come out and do that. Yeah, get Google to drive it.
No drones.
I'm gonna put that in my minutes here.
So, back to 703 South Francis, do we want
No
to
gross.
proceed with property cleanup, do we want to, do we think the structure?
I mean, do we have reason to believe from the outside in looking at it? I mean, is there reasonable cause? Do we have reason to believe from looking at it on the outside that the structure is unsound, or there's holes in the roof, or there's something?
if you take care of the outside
No way to tell.
Other than siding would be,
and the trash
what I
all
think
over the
as
place.
far as the,
Only thing I could see was siding problem.
I don't recall that there being any, there's that back porch thing that is now gone, cause that was an add-on, but other than that,
I mean,
I would say property cleanup.
I don't
Look at the-
I don't know that
the
it's rising
siding.
to the level of, I just don't know that it's rising to the
If it-
level of
if it
condemnation.
sits long enough with no utilities and we don't know if it's winterized, then I think we would have a valid point.
Right.
6 months from now, we might have that valid point if it sits.
I think start with just cleanup.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I guess-
The place on Third Street has holes in the roof, you can drive by there.
Right,
It's
that's
like a
but that's
light
what I'm
show.
saying from an objective standpoint. I mean, the place on Emerson has boarded up windows. The place on Third Street has, I mean, you can see it.
Yeah,
But
this one I
in
don't.
driving past that, I don't know that other than it looks really bad, but I don't know that we have reasonable cause to believe it is structurally unsound.
Yeah. I have from when I drove around, I can get that to you.
Okay.
Are you gonna send the letter on that one or the other?
Well,
one?
since we're only doing property cleanup, do I need to send the letter?
It could probably go from City Hall with the rest of them.
With the rest.
So-
Yeah, yeah.
And it'll be sent certified.
'Kay.
For sure.
Yeah, no, it has to be sent certified because they're not in the state.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we did
Okay,
that.
I will get that to the office then.
Where's the owner at?
What if there is somebody that-
The owner's in jail in Iowa. The power of
Okay,
attorney.
now I know
Why
who
can't
it
we
is.
just start
But
Now I know who it is.
does Jen have that address? Do you have the address for that?
Yeah, she sent me the power of attorney.
Reason
Okay.
to do it though.
Yeah. Does that take care of everything
I mean,
on
there-
property?
There's already been probable cause anyway, because if you have convict right there, well, I mean,
But it's not probable cause that the structure is unsound.
seems like
Let's-
we could do a whole lot
Find
more.
out which sheriff was there this weekend, talk to him.
Well, why isn't he here talking to me?
I don't know, you can find out who it was. Somebody was talking to him.
We'll
Somebody was
start with
there.
property cleanup. Tell it, Sheriff Beeson.
They had a call there or something. So,
I don't know if you
Alright.
guys wanna talk about the code enforcement officer at this point in time. There's not a lot to talk about. We did got some feedback from the clerk link, and I've shared it with you all, and you can read it at your leisure. There's some suggestions, some possibilities, so everybody should have that.
Thank you for that.
Yep, you're welcome.
Well, let's start with that list that we have that we think can,
Yeah. Can we get a list of that?
Uh, What?
A list of all the stuff we just talked about?
the
So,
ones we're sending or the ones we had?
Both.
I can forward you what Wyatt sent me.
well, that was in last week's, council packet with the properties that had already received the letters.
Over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically,
And Amanda and I had talked about this. Once you all identify properties that letters are going to be sent to, I can document that in my minutes. When you're just talking about it and you haven't made any decisions, I'm not gonna put those in the minutes, but these will be, yes. But do you want me to send them out early, as soon as, like, he's asking for the list, once we have it created?
I don't know why, once letters go out, you couldn't just send that spreadsheet out,
Right.
updated, property cleanup.
Okay.
What about the one on South Denison with the branches and the pile of dirt that we've talked about numerous times?
That's one of them really bad pictures.
Okay. The picture of the sun, where
It
it's
was
really
Yeah,
bright.
it was really bad.
There was snow in
Yeah.
Okay,
I just
So-
ran out of time today to get.
I know.
Yeah, we can,
okay, yep,
Mhm.
that'll work. All right. Projects pending.
Are we not on the code enforcement thing?
hmm?
Are we not
Um,
talking about this?
No, well, unless you wanna talk about it. I just mentioned that I'd set everything up for them.
Washington Street Beautification Committee met, we're gonna meet next month and try to come up with a plan of some locations of where we think to put trees and what kind of trees, and try to get a plan put together that maybe we can this spring get some grant funding and maybe replace some trees.
I can't hear you.
Sorry, Washington Street Beautification Committee met, we're gonna meet again next month with some ideas of locations to replant trees and what kind of trees to plant, so maybe we finalize a plan and maybe try to get some grant funding this spring to replace some of the trees, so. And we talked briefly maybe about the planters, but we wanted you involved in
Okay.
those discussions, so kind of maybe tie that in with Washington Street Beautification. Anything on sound system, have you looked, Bud?
I've looked at some, I had a couple, I talked to some other cities too, and, most of them didn't have anything, cause the few that I talked to sat around small tables.
Yeah.
I only got one feedback on one system. I talked to some people that's all they do is this, but, to me it was a little cost ineffective, cause we're talking about $6,000 to $8,000.
Oh, wow.
And I know we can come up with something better than that. I've come up with some simple systems, and I was gonna even play with one. I got one at the shop I'm gonna play with and see if it works.
Okay.
And if it does, then I'll get back with you when I get that one out, but it'll be 2 months before I do that.
Okay.
And anything on the property? Miss the meeting?
Wasn't this the
I
deadline?
forgot, yeah, we didn't get anything.
Okay, I had another inquiry, I don't know if we wanna just,
I have an inquiry too, so. We probably discuss it. I can't really tell you who, but an inquiry about that property. As they get extended.
We haven't had
I mean,
any
we don't have
bids at
anything,
all.
so I guess we can just,
Push it to the
Rio.
first of the year or something?
yeah,
I mean, it was advertised and it's open, and I mean, the city has it for sale. I don't know that you have to have competing bids. At this point, we have it, it's known that it's for sale.
yeah. that's what I
if we
think,
get
just
an
leave it
offer,
open.
I mean, it's the same thing as all of the other properties over in the industrial park area. We have them, people know that they're for sale. When they come to us, we don't wait until we have a competing bid and take the highest of the two. If there's a property that's for sale, we gave notice, we gave people equal opportunity if more than one person wanted it. That didn't happen, so now it's just another property that the city has that the city is agreeable to selling at particular terms. And if someone comes forward with that, then we're just gonna, you can just treat it like the industrial park.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one thing when they had, there was, you know, one person coming in or one entity coming in and saying, hey, this is what we're proposing, and it wasn't really made available to the public at large, but it has been now. And so this, I don't know that it needs to continue to be advertised if someone wants to inquire.
I fought that legal battle with my property out there. And somebody challenged me after I bought it, but it had been advertised and everything, and once I proved that it had been advertised, then it doesn't matter after that. If somebody comes later on down the road, they can buy it.
So I can tell them, bring their proposal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, anything else, projects pending? Streets?
I don't have much about streets. Lila obviously looked for what I said we were gonna look for.
Oh, yeah, for the crack
But
ceiling.
But she said she didn't find anything, so she thought we could take it out of special highway. But we should decide how much we're gonna do, so I can go out and look and see. What did we think for crack ceiling? $5,000 covers roughly a block. Roughly, depending on the crack. Now, some of our streets, 5,000 might make half a block. So,
Are you thinking of any places in particular?
one place that I was thinking is,
From the concrete where you guys did your water project, all the way up north, go south of me. From the concrete to south, didn't all that need crack seal? Or was that on the list to be redone?
That's on the list to be redone.
yeah, that
That's
is
pretty.
probably took out.
So all the stuff that we've done, like College Street, some of those need crack seal.
Yeah, College Street. I was thinking like South Central, you know, because it's wide. Some,
Yeah,
we went through and
Denison.
filled them, but then
Mhm.
now they're really wide. We said we could probably mastic them and refill them. And then we
Yeah.
chip seal over the top of that, which should,
Yeah, Denison.
that can be some street again for a while.
Hadn't we talked about like up to 50,000 or something?
That was already done.
How-
There was that in the encumbrance, but that was already done, the big project that, the crack
The other
ceiling,
chip seal,
or the chip ceiling, sorry.
was a 50,000. We talked about setting some aside for that, but Lila couldn't find anything more.
Not in the
set.
encumbrance list,
Is there
no.
any ones you're gonna chip seal, wanting to chip seal, or just crack seal, and then chip seal with it?
Where are we gonna finish going? What did we have left?
North and south,
North and south, did we do Adams?
Adams.
Adams and
That was,
Denison?
I think that was one we were looking at, the hospital,
Crack seal.
yeah,
Yeah,
to finish that one up, and then crack, and then chip seal over that.
There's 3 streets went north and south.
but Francis, it needs to probably be completely redone. I don't know that.
And then next year, we'll probably have to look at chipping that on Spencer Street, them two small sections, each side of the concrete, or we're gonna lose them completely. And then,
Pretty rough in spots.
I think if we chip it, we might buy a little time. I don't know if you're gonna buy more than a few years, but.
Where's that at?
Spencer, by the dip,
Yeah,
the two sides.
the two sides on each side of the V on Spencer Street. It's one with the V, it's the river, it should be called River Street.
Yeah.
It is.
But I know there is,
Spencer
I
River.
know down there on the end too, we're gonna have to get some concrete work done.
Yeah, we might wanna look into
That's
we probably need to look at curb and gutter along the access road too. Start figuring out what needs to be done and what that's gonna cost, cause that'll have to be this spring before they
I'll check
do the
it
access
rock
road.
on some of it.
Or even if it's a nice day, couple of weeks.
I mean, some of that's gone this far underneath of it.
So some of the stuff that we've already covered, are all those core samples good that we've done on the streets?
Did we get,
That's the other thing, I'm waiting on that, I did call him, he said had an email he was getting ready to put together, but I hadn't seen it yet, so. But he said that everything you guys had down, we'd already core sampled.
okay,
So it'd be just not, and he didn't think any of it looked too bad, he was gonna give that to me, and then you guys can decide how you wanna proceed.
Okay.
So I'm sure you're gonna wanna proceed with with him as an engineer, cause you're gonna get into lots of money probably.
What streets on the east side of the grade, or west side of the grade school?
That was on the list
Francis?
tomorrow.
Huh?
Oh, west side of the grade school.
West side.
this right over here?
Denison?
Is that Denison?
Yeah.
There's a horrible spot across, and I don't know the address, but it's right on the corner. And I think we've talked about it before, where the curb and gutter's completely washed out. And the street, we're losing that street right there.
Owens.
Is it?
Mhm.
Okay. Was that ever brought up to him, or?
We
Okay.
have a letter on it.
I think we need to get another letter out, cause that's getting really bad.
Who's
Yeah, we were waiting on Brock, or he was, but I think, I don't know why he's still waiting on Brock.
Can they even do
It
that?
keeps eroding away.
Who's close?
The old Lewis house,
Yeah, the old Lewis house.
Yeah, I brought pictures in, and we
we
sent
sent
a
a
letter.
letter to him. I'll visit with him.
And then I know he
Okay.
was held up because of Brock, so.
He was waiting on Brock, yeah. That's the last he called me and said that he was waiting on Brock and he was gonna try to patch himself and I told him that we understand waiting on the contractor, but
And I didn't look to see, that reminds me, that you said Denison. The guys that are born got AT&T's phone runs, so they had to dig a hole up in around the street. I haven't been bothered to see how it looks, have you?
and like, I was busy today.
Yeah,
Have you contacted them on the things that they've already tore up to fix,
like,
like that street by your place?
Quincy,
Yeah.
I haven't contacted them back there. I know they went back and patched quite a few spots. Cause one they put rock in and then they went back and patched it, I believe.
haven't filled that one in yet.
Are you confident that they're gonna fix stuff when they?
No, I got the number.
Any other chip sealing? Do those two this way, if it's on doing those two.
Do we have to discuss it?
I guess right now we just need to figure out our crack and seal and then we can put it in and figure out chip before some, cause they're wanting chipped up. Later in the
April?
year. Yeah. Crack's a little big from now.
Okay,
So, I guess I need to run and look, but I thought Denison Street, we didn't wanna
Denison.
get that.
what about over here by the park, Jackson? Or any of those
Could.
streets down, well, this,
I know they did part of Jackson before in a few years ago. I can look at it.
okay.
As far as crack sealing?
Mhm.
Well, that one north of the band shell park is gonna need some work.
Yeah,
Because
there's some of them, yeah, some of that is, but I just thought if we were crack sealing, if we could buy some time on some of that.
So how much you guys want to spend on traction? I guess that's, well, funny how much.
Well, I was gonna say, if we pick a dollar amount, then we know how much per block and we can
Right.
do so much would you special highway?
Yeah, I didn't print one for myself. Can I see the budget?
I thought we talked about Adams. What's the next one? We talked about going north and south and Chipsy.
Quincy's already.
Quincy was redone.
Most of Quincy's done, it's just that one block.
That one
Two
block.
blocks.
Two blocks,
Yeah, two.
From the hospital
But those need
down
to
to,
be replaced.
yeah, there's just those 2 blocks that they did on Quincy was completely redone with the last street project.
That's right, that's the one.
We were just talking those 2 blocks, the hospital and the one.
To Main Street.
Well, the 1 block is concrete.
If there's anything on
Maybe from
Benton,
Justin's house.
anything on Benton, that's already been chip sealed.
Yeah.
And Colic has already been chip sealed. Some of those probably need to be.
either this year or next year, but if you spend this year, you don't have it for
Benton.
next year, even though it's budgeted next year.
If there's anything that's been stopped there that probably needs to be done, because that one's chip sealed.
Mm-hmm.
No, what do we,
We could,
we don't have anything
we
to
could probably
carry over to
spend
next
50.
year.
At
We
least.
spend,
highway?
yeah,
Easy.
if we spend everything we
Well,
have
that's
in special highway, we won't have anything to carry over.
Definitely Adams and College.
Right, I mean, because we have 122.
and it's not like
Because
it's,
we have a lot of those.
But that's not necessarily.
we don't have to use it
Wait,
right
wait,
away, right?
Yeah, I
The
know, and I
50?
know what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, he's
Are they
talking
just
about,
talking about?
and he's done pretty,
You're just
pretty
Well, as
quick.
much as we can, but if we have left over,
Yeah,
Oh,
I
So-
didn't know we were gonna have this discussion.
So but if it's
Yeah.
special
That's what I wrote
highway,
down here.
15.
15.
Can we ask for that, and then at the next meeting, I'll have more solid numbers, cause I thought that's what you were gonna ask for.
We'll just look at 15,000 right now.
15?
I need to look at the budget numbers. We have plenty in there, but if you spend it all now, when we did our budget, we had anticipated a carryover into next year. So we just need to look at that so you guys know how that's gonna affect next year's budget if you do it now.
Okay.
And I didn't look at that, but I will for the next
Jerry,
meeting.
I thought I told 15 or 20, somewhere in there, so we just look at 15,000 instead of it.
Okay.
is that enough to get him to come in?
I'll call him, find out.
Or we can wait till the next meeting.
Yeah.
It's up to you. Okay.
We'll wait till the next meeting. That way we have some numbers on what we can do.
Yeah, I can start looking at streets and see what we got.
And-
Yeah.
Lyla, correct me if I'm wrong, and I may be wrong, since we're paying these out of unbudgeted funds, would it necessarily have to be an income?
That is a budgeted fund. The special highway fund is a budgeted
Is it a
fund,
budgeted?
yes.
That all on streets, Dan?
I hope so.
Visitors, Sherry, Randy, have
What's that?
anything? Said, visitors, you have anything for us, Randy?
No, I came in so that I can learn something, mainly,
Yeah.
but, and thank you guys for the frontage road progress that you've made so far. I got my letter today that said that you were working on it, so that'll be greatly appreciated by everybody.
Yes,
Yeah.
we will. Yes. It's been a rough go to get, yeah, it's been a
Long
long,
drawn out process.
long fight, but, we're getting there. Theater report?
Wasn't too much, there's a year to standing, where it's at. Just for the sign, yet they haven't heard from commercial sign.
I did.
You heard
It's
from-
gonna be another 6 to 8 weeks, yeah.
Oh, well. They're that far behind.
Yeah,
Actually do the work.
yeah, to get it in, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
okay. Well, I knew this the other day.
That's their,
They just,
Didn't
nobody heard
know.
anything, so.
Yeah.
okay,
for a
very good.
commercial sign, that's about normal. That's about average.
Yeah. And then still waiting on a few contractors maybe. I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
to see about renovation. They announced, I think it was the girls are still working weekends at the thrift store, and it's over 20 now. They have
Wow.
20K. And what else?
once in a while, there might just be one person, if there's lots of things going on, a ball game or something, if there's one person in the theater, they brought it up, she's like, do I show the movie, I have staffing, I have, pay, and, we considered a lot of things, those people, too, might have drove
Mm-hmm.
to come see it, or those people that were working, you don't wanna lose them,
Yeah.
we're sending them home all the time, so they just said they would just maybe ask, it was just suggested, instead of just saying, nope, we're not showing it or nothing like that, just say, you are the only one in here, do you wanna stay, or we can give you maybe a ticket to come back, if they didn't wanna stay, and
Yeah.
watch it themselves, if it was that type of thing. It's still courtesy, but yet,
Discussed through the years,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think way back when I was in high school and worked there, I think they even had a limit of 5 people, and then it's like, well, did they drive, 30 minutes to get here and go watch
Yeah.
a movie, and then you send them home, and then your staff,
Mhm. So they said they just talked to the person, maybe, just to see, if they wanted to stay, they came to watch it, and this is the only time they could watch it, then they show it and go on, but if,
Yeah.
so. But anyway, it was just thrown out again to.
It's a tough decision to make.
Yeah, it is, yeah, 'cause you wanna be open for
Yeah.
people too, but. So anyway, and nothing to,
Did they hire some people? Didn't they hire at least one?
yeah, one's gonna be a part-time, kinda on special needs, or, when they need,
As needed.
as needed, and then, the other one hired on.
Yeah, I had one that came in Friday and filled out paperwork for part-time, a high school kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
And
the
they've had
last
some more
one-
people come in and
the
pick up
last one they
applications.
hired full-time, I think was, from Bird, so,
Mm-hmm, yes.
yeah, she's coming over,
So they're getting more employees.
And then we got the proposal for the website from Elevation.
Oh, so,
Lady Franklin, so she emailed it to me, I saved it to the shared drive for Lila, but I did not have a chance to look at it.
But it probably wasn't out there. It probably wasn't out there when you looked at it.
This is strictly for the theater?
Yes,
mhm.
just like $1,200, if you look at the,
And then is there a maintenance fee, or?
this is all I got from Lacey to start with today, so, cause we pay a yearly fee to them, right, for our website?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I
Mhm.
would
Maybe
guess
just-
so.
This would be to
This is
integrate
to
it over,
act-
and then it would be kind of maintained
Mhm.
as with ours,
And then they'll give Jessica training on how to,
update it and stuff. Okay.
so,
That's everybody's thoughts. Like, now we have an option, really, we need to get it.
And somebody that knows
Yeah.
what they're doing. too.
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is your
Mhm.
best option, and then we've got control of the domain name, well, they got control of it, and they said that if we wanna take that over, we could, with Keeperless. And that's a whole separate thing than this, we needed to get that domain into
Mhm.
our name, but, I think this is your best bet, because, I think that they've been easy to work with if we've had, things where we need, they're gonna train Jessica how to upload stuff, I feel like this is your best option, and we should just roll with it, but.
Do you need a motion?
Mm-hmm.
For a motion to approve the proposal from Elevation Design?
Moved.
Moved by Kale. Dara, all in favor? I think yes.
I don't know. Was there a nod?
Yes,
Is that all
There's a
yes?
nod, there's a nod. Yes, are you all right with it? Okay.
I just haven't had a little chance to read through it.
Anything else, theater report?
No.
Do I hear a motion to accept and file the theater report?
So moved.
Moved by Larry. Second by Justin, all in favor? All right. Superintendent report.
So, for the past week or so, I've got the boiler working. We're still gonna have to see what the expansion tank's gonna cost, cause it's leaking to get fixed, but. Well, it took me about 20 hours to get the air out of it, so it'll kick off,
Wow.
probably, so, but it's working for now, so hopefully it stays that way. The air compressor at the plant went kaput, so it's in Denver. I took it Friday to get rebuilt. It could be anywhere from, the last three we had done was anywhere from $600 to $4,100. So I'll have to just give you a price once they give me a call. I'm waiting for them to call me back. We keep a spare. The problem is when we got spare, we put it on, it's doing the same thing the old one, so we don't actually have a rebuilt one like we thought we did, so. We'll have to have two of them built probably. Still working on getting a quote from Ward. Looks like 2 alleys is gonna cost just about everything we have, say, that we left in there. So I ain't got a total yet, but I'll add 117,000 to do 2 alleys.
Is that before or after your supplies?
That's the
That is the supplies.
Oh, that's just the supplies.
And
We had
125.
we should have 125 in there that we didn't spend on Ward West. Just
So
Right,
we can
right.
We used them at the beginning of the year and then,
So we can get the supplies for the remainder of this year, and then we'll have the supplies for the work for next year, to keep up with the 200,000.
right now what I'm looking at is the alley between Whittier and, what's next street here?
Which
Whittier
one?
and Emerson,
Mhm.
and then Emerson and Jackson. We get those 2 alleys done, I'll put everything on the north end of town with good wire. That'll take all the copper wire out we have still, and then we'll have to start north south.
Which we mostly
Hmm?
doing alleys north-south,
Mhm.
which would be
Right,
Just
so
like
we,
now?
yeah, we'd start at First Street going north south. There's a lot of old copper and stuff in there still. But I think we're making progress. We're not out as much as we,
no, it's helped
Have
a
been.
bunch.
Made a lot of progress.
and I hate to say that because right now I don't have air at the power plant, so if it goes out, we might be in the dark till they get back on. Cause that's what that air is used for, is to start the generators. Altex bill come in about $776.96 more than what they gave us for an estimate, so the total is $3,157.06. So I guess I need a motion to make up that difference.
Moved by Kale and second by Justin, all in favor? Motion passed.
Insurance thing, I'm still working on, I haven't done anything with it yet, for power plant insurance. I am looking at upgrading our meter reading system, just because our tablet's starting to get old. So right now we have a drive-by system. They said we could upgrade the drive-by system, but for not a whole lot more money, we may be able to go to the Tanel system, which would actually, we'd go out and change certain meters, and it would all come into here.
Hmm.
I mean, it could actually come in every day if they wanted to here. So,
How's that work?
well, they did say, like the,
Is it radio frequency or something?
the reason we have to change certain meters, cause like all the meters would read to 1 meter, and then that meter would read till it got all the way back to here. And all the meters are set up to read the water too, so we could all be integrated in and it would all come down here. Cause we got a lot of that already done, and he said he didn't think it'd be a lot more for that system than to actually buy a upgraded tablet. So,
But also, isn't what we have on the tablet, I thought that they were also gonna quit supporting
yeah, they're
the
gonna quit
program
supporting
we
the
have like in
tablet.
2028, right?
We need to
Yeah,
upgrade anyways.
Yeah.
and then didn't you say we could do shut-offs from the office as well?
If we put the disconnect meters in,
Oh.
they would be able to shut
Oh,
off from
that's right,
here.
I'm sorry, yeah.
So, and I know we have a few disconnect meters out there now, but we don't use them very often, I don't think. You have to try to log on with the computer and get close enough for it to read. They would be able to do it from here. If we have a repeat finger, we can put the shut off meter in, they can just hit a button here and shut them off. So, or do a reading, like a read and leave on, you know, for someone moving, they could do it from here. So,
Sounds good.
maybe free up a guy. Sweeper part's here, but Dennis hasn't had time to work on it yet. And I did have to order some chlorine. We think it'll be under the spending limit, if not, I'll be back next meeting to tell you. We do about 5 cylinders a year for chlorine. So, that's all I have.
The compressor, you're not gonna have to get a motion to pay for that, like when you find out, or we have to wait on that?
No.
No, I'm probably gonna just pull the trigger.
So you don't have to wait for us to approve it then?
No.
Okay, good.
Or I'll call Amanda and she can pull the trigger and,
No.
cause we're gonna have, we
Get it
need to
done.
get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need it here
Yeah.
ASAP.
Yeah, okay.
Any
That's
other
why, kinda why it's already there, because I had to go up there anyway.
Yeah.
So I just put it in the pickup and took it with me.
Any other questions for Dan? If not, is there a motion to accept and file the superintendent report?
So moved.
Moved by Cale, second by Justin, all in favor? Attorney report.
I'm assuming the CMB thing is being covered under me.
Yes.
Okay, Lila found, on the shared, or in your packets, I guess Lila found 4 other cities that have the same code provisions we have regarding when someone gets a CMB. The residency requirement of the state for a year and the county for 6 months.
What I did was I looked for all online code for Colby, Goodland, Oberlin, Oakley, and Atwood. No, Norton, sorry, Norton and Atwood. I could not find Colby and Sharon Springs. I looked for them too. Couldn't find them online, but the ones that I was able to find online, they all had very similar verbiage as ours.
I'm sure it's
Norton.
until just recently.
Norton, Goodland,
There's no drawing.
Atwood, and Oberlin.
It's changed, just recently.
What's that?
I think
There's-
Sharon Springs was dry up until just recently,
Oh, okay.
so that you may have had a hard time finding it.
Well, none of their code was online, so.
I think Wallace was the last dry county, and they just went
They
wet.
just changed,
They
yeah.
just went
Mm.
wet,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I call
Anyway,
ABC
sorry, I didn't mean to
Direct.
interrupt, but just,
You're good.
I call ABC Direct, cause I thought that's what I was supposed to do,
Mhm.
but didn't know we were talking about it tonight. And they said that a lot of places are finding out, with this small change in procedure, a lot of people are starting to review their codes. And, they're finding out that they have some old stuff in their code. And so, if you look at one of the applications, which I do not have one in front of me, the state on the application asks if you are a resident of the state of Kansas. That's all it asks, so, she said that some people have antiquated codes.
Like ours.
And that's not saying that we can't have that requirement in
Right,
there.
yes, absolutely not.
That's just
suggesting
saying that we are no longer required
that. Right,
to have that requirement in there.
yeah, so,
there's some other part, have you guys, it's kind of off topic, but have you guys divided up the chapters yet?
Yep.
Who has that chapter?
Hold on.
I
The reason I'm asking that is there's, some other sections of that chapter that I question personally, and JR had questioned in the past whether or not we needed, the one that's on what you cannot, prohibited actions or prohibited behaviors in an establishment. Have you read that part?
Yes.
I'm sure you did,
In
cause
that
you read
article,
all of
yep.
it. Just something I think perhaps the council as a whole may want to look at, cause they may not be familiar with it. Just since you're talking about that section.
The only thing, the one thing I saw about it that concerns my kind of business is the Sunday sales. The state of Kansas opens it up, actually is longer than what we have on ours. And the only reason I'm looking at it different is because we get people wanting to go to the lake, wanting to go camping, and they come in the mornings, want to pick it up and take it with them. And I've had a lot of requests. I have a lot of people on Sundays that want to, and so we've had to say no. And I'd like to get that revised to where it matches the Kansas state statute.
When did they change? Do you know?
Last year, year before, it was,
Years, yeah.
yeah.
Arizona beverages.
Ah,
And I believe, didn't we look
Not
up,
saying that
it's
somebody
9
else can't read it if they want extra reading material.
And I believe it went, we're setting at noon, and actually it's I think it's 9 o'clock.
I think it's 9 a.m.
For state of Kansas. And all the way around us, they can do it at 9 o'clock, our county, our city won't do it yet. So I'd like to see us just match it for summertime, like I said. It's not that they wanna drink it, they wanna take it to the lake with them, and they don't wanna have to drive clear back to St. Francis to get it. So, I would like to see that part changed.
We'll keep that. When Dara brings her revisions to this.
I did see a couple other things, but I forgot to print the darn thing out. I got it all outlined, but I forgot to
Yep.
print.
Anybody else read through there?
I did. I didn't say anything wrong. I did what I was reading. Of course, I don't have
I
any
didn't mean to bring that.
Wait, this is the code revision?
Yeah, sorry, I just jumped ship.
I'm like, we're not on CMB anymore, we're on
I'm
full code,
sorry, that's
okay.
my fault, that's my fault, I
We went to
apologize.
the code.
Well, I
chapter,
mean,
so it
here's
was like,
here's the
oh,
thing is, I mean, the legality of it is, and the compliance part of it is me, but as far as what it says, that, I
That's
mean,
why we're all reading chapters.
right,
to
I
see
mean,
if there's things we want to change.
right, if there are things you wanna change, that's a council prerogative, if there are changes you wanna make. I just need to make sure that it's compliant
Right.
with
I
the
would like to
laws.
see the alcohol match the state,
Yeah, me too.
so,
Just
That would make more
matches.
sense.
I mean, if
Yeah.
they're going to the work to file through the state, why can't they just?
Right.
Okay, I-
Especially since now we're having to pay the state to get the license.
I,
Yeah.
I can make that revision. Are there any other, I guess, we have to, I know that we're doing the code thing, but I have the CMB ordinance drafted. If we wanna change, I mean, I can modify it for next time, so that way, so,
Yeah.
to just match the state.
Yep.
And then the procedure will go with the state, and then I guess the residency I don't know if you want to, I don't know if we want to look at it and do a more comprehensive revision as we're going through this and discussing the code, if there's sections of the code that the council wants revised once everyone's had a chance to read their chapters. But I do think we need to get this ordinance 658 passed, so at least our code is matching. You have to go to there, get the stamp, then come here and apply. So I don't know if you want any more changes imminently than just that. Okay, so we'll address the residency requirement with everything else. We'll just immediately change.
Isn't that part of what the state requirement was
we-
just,
Well, it just asks that on the application. So she directed me to the application and she said, if you read that, it just asks if you,
or
and I'm not gonna
resident-
get the wording exactly right, a current resident
It doesn't ask how long you've been arrested,
No,
the city or the.
Right, which is, and actually, if you look at the statute,
Does
It-
it say it's required?
No, it says that the,
no retailer's license shall be issued to a person who is not a citizen of the United States, a person who within 2 years immediately preceding the date of application approval has been convicted of, released from incarceration for or released from probation or parole for a felony or any crime involving moral turpitude, drunkenness, driving a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicating liquor, violation of any other intoxicating liquor law of the states of any state of the United States, a partnership unless all of the members of the partnership are qualified, a corporation if all the people of the corporation aren't. It doesn't even have a residency requirement other than you have to be a citizen. And honestly, with that interpretation, you don't even have to reside in the country, you just have to be a citizen.
I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on it, just because I did those applications. I would follow the state on that as well,
yeah,
is
cause
what
it
I
also
would
says
do,
that
because-
this ABC may require a background check.
Yeah.
It's up to them, let them
Yeah.
do it.
So, I mean, we're like, right here, you got Colorado, you got Nebraska, someone moved from Nebraska over
Yeah.
here. I
You know,
mean,
they gotta wait 6 months to open a business
yeah, I
if they
mean,
wanna
it could
open
be
a
just like
business
begging
here.
when they come over here, so.
Yeah,
I just thought,
let's just go with whatever the state says.
Okay. Everybody okay with that?
Okay, so I'm changing the time,
Mhm.
and I will also have to, I'll do a separate ordinance for time for are we doing liquor sales or just cereal malt, just,
Just the CMB.
just the CMB.
licensing, yeah.
so
Cause the
CMB,
sales are part of, that's a different part of the code, right? We're just doing the licensing part of the CMB, correct?
right,
Yeah, let's just
Licensing.
get that one done since since we have to with the way the state changed theirs. And
Right.
then we can adjust the rest of what we need to when we revise the code.
okay, okay,
After everybody reads their chapters.
okay.
Okay. Very good.
I will make that change and get it revised and sent in for the next meeting. Code review! Did everyone get their code provisions? Did everyone read their code provisions?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Does everyone need a deadline by which to review their code provisions?
Next meeting?
I,
Thought we had,
well, if we want it by the end of the year, we have to make any corrections. I have to get it to him. We have to pass the charter ordinance. I mean, and then it has to be
let's
published
say
by
the
the end.
first meeting in December, cause if next meeting we have public meeting and that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, let's.
I guess you're talking about these.
Yes.
Sound good? That'll give us.
I would request that if people have suggestions or proposed changes, if they could send them to me before the meeting, so that way I can at least kind of condense and make sure that I'm on the same page and that it's not flying in the face of anything that's statutorily required. It's not outside like a maximum or a minimum. So if there are proposed changes, just because there's no, I won't have the time to look it up as we're discussing it, and if it isn't compliant with state statute, or if there's a reason we can't do it, we don't need to be, I mean, we're going through the whole
But if
code.
it's one person's thoughts and the 4 other people decide no, then that's a waste of your time as well.
Okay, I
I
mean,
mean, let's wait and see that the council has the consensus of
Okay.
they wanna move forward,
okay,
then that you spend a bunch of time and
okay,
one person thinks that and 4 others don't.
Yes, I went through and checked like all mine,
perfect.
quite,
And you will not be here for that meeting, correct?
I will not.
Okay,
I've got
but you're
all-
gonna give,
I've got all 3 of these already.
and you're gonna get them to Amanda.
Yep,
Okay, yes, that'll work,
I got all of them all done.
okay. Anything else, Lori?
I don't have anything, yeah, now that I've talked about sending that letter, we don't send the, just kind of, hey, this is a notice of condemnation, you know, we might be getting up to it. The mailing address was the same as the address for the house, so we just sent it. I'm assuming it's being forwarded, but I don't know where that person actually is.
What?
The Emerson property.
I don't think he's changed his mailing address.
Okay,
We might,
Okay.
double check,
okay.
I can double check and see.
Because what we did was we got the PRC sheet and we sent it to the mailing address is the same as the physical address, and so I didn't know if, because that intersection has a bunch of mailboxes, like if the mail was still going there, and so it was just being picked up. We haven't had anything returned,
Okay,
but I didn't know, we haven't had anything returned. We've never sent it certified until it actually goes into the proceeding before, because it's not required. I don't know if, with that being the case, if you maybe want me to send a certified letter?
well, if we don't hear anything by the December deadline, then we'll send something certified.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that'll work.
Yep.
Is there a motion to accept and file the attorney report?
Move.
Moved by Justin,
Second.
second by Kale, all in favor? Let's see, treasurer report.
I don't have anything unless you wanna just, oh, we'll just need that consent. That's for you to call, not me. I don't have anything.
Okay, clerk report.
Well, I already talked about the code enforcement stuff that I sent out there, so that's really all I had, was that. As far
And I
as
have to
know.
caveat again that we have to be careful of non-law enforcement individuals performing law enforcement
Yeah.
actual tasks. They're not, they cannot issue a summons, they cannot effectuate service, they cannot do certain law enforcement tasks. And so it would need to be, I don't know if we want to give them the title of code enforcement officer, if it would be something, I think more appropriately would be, code infraction investigator or code investigator, something along those lines, because an officer gives it the impression that they have legal authority, which they would not have, because they have not gone through the proper legal or law enforcement officer training. So,
Council comments, Bud.
Only comment I got is day after tomorrow, I'll be on the airplane, but I have made arrangements to where I will be always in touch at any time. So I can always be, either by phone, by email, or by computer, I can always be contacted. So I can be kind of at meetings if need be.
And when do you get back?
I will be back January 8th.
Kale?
None here.
Larry?
No.
Sarah?
No.
Justin?
Like 15 minutes executive session, not long, personnel.
Okay.
So, for us.
Do we want to do that, or you wanna review bills? Well, let's review the bills when,
Yeah,
do you need,
just us.
okay. You can go. You can, no, you two will stay, not for Justin's, but for
Oh, for,
non-elected personnel.
wait a minute.
Justin wants 15 minutes, but we'll need 5 minutes for non-elected personnel for.
I'm in.
Okay, so there's two of the things, okay, sorry.
Yeah, Lauren can go. I thought we could review bills while these guys are packing up. See you guys.
Okay,
And then,
See ya.
we'll go into executive session, but we'll need,
two of them,
yes, 2 of them.
okay.
The mayor would like 5 minutes, and Justin would like 15, and I need the clerk and the treasurer for my 5 minutes. Dan, you're free to go.
No, I'm not.
No?
I get to be it.
Okay,
or are you reviewing bills?
we're reviewing bills. Figured we,
Sorry.
sorry.
Amanda, just put this computer away. Do you want my computer so you can, turn it over to the new people?
Yes, we need,
Yeah, if you're not using it, you
Well,
might as well bring it back.
Cause
Yeah.
I'm using mine, so
Yeah.
mine's just been set and closed.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
might as well bring it
Kale will
back
have
if
to
you're not
turn his
using
in, and Dara.
I do
Did
not.
anybody see anything on the bills? Did everybody look at the bills?
I'm gonna be approved.
Second.
Moved by Larry, seconded by Justin to approve the bills on ordinance number 1104. All in favor?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a motion to go into executive session for 5 minutes to resume at.
Hold on,
Sorry.
hold on, I can't get this.
Tuesday's minute.
we hear a motion to go into executive session for 5 minutes to resume at 9:20 with all those in the room for, non-elected personnel?
Elected personnel, so moved.
Second?
Moved by Larry, second by Kale, all in favor?
Yep.
Alright. We're out of executive session, no decisions were made. I hear a motion to go back into executive session for 15 minutes with non-elected personnel for performance, with
So moved.
just the council and mayor. Moved by Kale,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor?
What time are you coming out? I'm sorry.
Sorry,
40.
basically,
8:40.
9:40.
9:40.
9:40.
Okay.
we are out of executive session and no decisions were made.
I have one more thing I need to bring up.
Uh-oh.
I just walked in the office and Patty. Other foreman, 110 West First. I forgot that. Jen told me that was here and I didn't make my. I just wanted to be done by the 20th. So I figured I'd look at you guys this week. Looks like you're taking the deck off maybe.
Off the back, so there wouldn't be any problems with property lines or
I don't
anything.
think so.
Already done.
30 by 14 is fine,
Yeah,
just
no, you
the
can-
house.
Yeah.
Anybody have your motion to?
I'll move.
Second?
Larry moved to approve the building permit, seconded by Kale, all in favor?